is Dee and welcome to my channel called The Needle Woman. Welcome to all my current subscribers and welcome to anyone who hasn't probably even seen any of my videos and hasn't subscribed, but hopefully you will enjoy the content. So this month I'm kind of running late with trying to organize a video to post, and the reason for that is that I've actually been on holidays. I went to Nepal. I went for 10 days at the beginning of February and absolutely enjoyed it. I love the food. The country is just so different. I actually did no research before I went because I just kind of wanted to go and just enjoy it and just see what happens, you know. And yeah, so I had no idea what I was, kind of going to be experiencing, but loved it. Absolutely loved it. I got to see Mount Everest. Didn't climb it, just, took a flight and got the important photo. But yeah, it was just amazing to see. Anyways, that's kind of a little bit off topic, but that is the reason why I haven't actually had a chance to get into my craft room and do anything with my knitting machine or, learn any new techniques or try anything new. So this video for this month is kind of going to be like a little tour, I guess, of my craft room and just showing you some bits and pieces that I have, and hopefully that's going to be interesting and you might enjoy it. And I have some questions actually for any of my subscribers that you might be able to help me answer. So let's get into it. So I thought I'd kind of start off with a kind of a wide angle shot, if I can, of my craft room. This is my spare bedroom. That was my machine. There's a bunch of drawers here which are really, really useful. There's a cup of tea there. There's always a cup of tea in my craft room. The drawers are really good for small bits and pieces. And then I've got these shelves here. And let's see if we can get all of that. So yeah, that is a lot of stuff. Now, if you guys remember maybe from one of my previous videos, I've kind of mentioned that I pretty much bought this person's entire craft room. So about 90% of what's on these shelves is what I got from them. And I mean, you can see like boxes, tubs, absolutely tubs. Let's see if we can get close up. Tubs of yarn on a cone. Now, I got I think, about 6 boxes or so, or 6 tubs of yarn. And I managed to get all this in my car in one go. The car was absolutely chockers. It was full. I had yarn on a cone underneath the passenger seat. I had stuff on the passenger seat, but managed to get it all in one go. And luckily, the yarn, most of it is kind of in this plastic. So it's actually really covered up really well, and it's, it's clean. Some of it might not quite be my taste. I mean, this brown is a bit, I don't know. But, can be useful, possibly with something else. But yeah, so much stuff that I don't know what half of it is. And yeah, so I'll kind of show you, I'll go through it a little bit and I'll show you some of the stuff and I'll have questions for you guys. So if you see something that, I might ask a question about, if you know what it is, please post in the comments and just let me know what it is, because that's going to make my life and my research on what to do with that particular thing so much easier. So all right, so let's jump in here and have a look. Now, one of the first things when I was buying this Brother knitting machine that I asked, and mind you, like, I knew nothing about knitting machines back then, was, does it come with a lace carriage? Because I knew that you needed a lace carriage to knit lace, but I didn't really know what it looked like. I just I knew that I needed one. And the person said, yes, it does. But actually, if we have a close-up, it actually came with 3 lace carriages. So both of these orange ones, they seem to be, well, original. I mean, only one of them probably came with the actual machine. So this person has acquired another one somewhere along the way. And they have, if we can get closer, you can see it says KH860 on it. And I've got 2 of them. So, and then I've got a third one as well. And, whoops, that was a bit loud. Yeah, so this one also says L on it, so it is a lace carriage. But they seem to have, so this one has different, I don't know what these things are called. And then this one has the little rubber ones. And this one also has the little rubber ones on it. So possibly this person had extra ones just because they were setting them up and using them up in a different way. So we've got 3 lace carriages. 2, 3, and then we have a box of stuff. So first thing I'm going to ask is, what is this? What is it used for? If you know, please comment down below and let me know what it is. I'm thinking it is something to do with weaving, but I'm not 100% sure. It came with no instructions, you know, stuff is just kind of thrown in the box, and I'm supposed to work out what it is. It has a lot of these combs, extra ones, and then I think this is a garter bar, if I got that right. Yes, that is a garter bar, and luckily it does have instructions, so hopefully, oops, oh, hopefully I can work out what to do with it. Question, if you have a, what is it called, a ribber, which I do you need to use a garter bar? Is garter bar used only if you don't have a ribber and you're trying to, you know, make the what's it called, ribbing or knit in garter stitch? I don't know. If you do, comment down below. And then we've got, I have no idea what this is. It does have paper in it. I haven't even opened it up. I am not sure what it does. We will get to it eventually. And then we've got this thing here. It has a sticker on it that says Deco. So I don't know what that's used for, but at least I can Google Deco knitting machine and see what that is all about. I'm thinking it's maybe used for some kind of patterning or something like that. If you know, comment down below. And then we have a lot of these plates. I have used this one before and now I've forgotten what I've used it for, but I have manuals for them, so I can look that up. This one here, there's another different plate, and I believe this one is used when you are knitting with 2 colors, and when you are using this thing here, which I believe is a color changer, and it is a color changer for like for just the actual knitting machine, not for the ribber. So you cannot use this with a ribber. You have to either remove the ribber or just kind of get it out of the way. So you can only use this just for sort of like flat knitting, just with the top bit. The other one that I have seen that is a color changer that you can use with a ribber kind of looks different, and it has like a metal arm on one side. So I do not appear to have that. I have just this one. And then we have a lot of these combs. We have, this is like a whole set of transfer tools and some other tools. And we have a lot of these cones that are supposed to go on the yarn winder. If you guys have seen my yarn winder video, you know that I have one that didn't have this on top, so I think, well, at least maybe they're interchangeable between all the different yarn winders anyways. So we'll work that out. We have a bobbin for this sort of silky cord that you can use to separate. Sorry about my finger, I've had accident with a henna. Yeah, anyways, so this yarn cord is used to separate two bits of knitting. That's like a safety line. So if you hand knit, have you ever heard of a safety line where you can use it to sort of separate, and then you can just rip back to that safety line, and then your stitches are still safe. Your knitting is still safe. But in machine knitting, I think it's kind of used slightly differently. And then I have, well, again, a lot of these cones and a lot of metal bits and pieces that I don't actually even know what they're for. They could be parts for, I don't know, for the color changer, possibly, or something else. We'll work it out eventually. So, and then I'm going to take you over here and show you what I've got in here. Long bits. So this is a knit leader, and I think I have all the pieces for it, all the like the metal loops and things like that. But what one thing that I 100% sure that I do not have is the, and I think we're going to say this right, it's the mylar sheet, which I think I can buy online, hopefully somewhere. And then I have like 1,001 of these yarn masks, which is useful. I don't know if they're just extras and spare, but you know, with something that's vintage and it's hard to get parts for, it's good to have spares, right? And I'm going to show you a little surprise back here in the corner. So what is hiding underneath this? Some people might already recognize it with that little computer that's sticking out there. And you can see the name, it says PASAP. So this is a, let's see if I can uncover this. This is a PASAP Duomatic knitting machine. So I actually bought this knitting machine before I bought the Brother, but I haven't really been able to work out how to use it. It could be user error, it could be the machine itself, but it seems to be a little bit more harder to use than the Brother machine. The Brother machine kind of makes a little bit more sense with the way it's set up. This one, it doesn't make that much sense for me so far. So I ended up buying the Brother knitting machine, and I'm having much more success with it. But I'm probably going to keep this one as well, and eventually maybe one day I'll work it out, or if not, I'll rehome it, I guess. But yeah, so that is my craft room, and quick little view on this side. A whole bunch of magazines from the 90s that I will go through eventually and work out what's what. I mean, it's not really my cup of tea. Yes, I was around in the 90s and probably wore some of this kind of stuff, but I don't really want to wear it now. I don't know, maybe it will come in fashion. I think it has. I don't know, fashion changes so much. And then on this side here, I have a cupboard, and this is a whole another story and a whole nother channel on its own. This cupboard contains some of my sewing stuff. Now, my channel is called The Needle Woman, and that's purely because most of my hobbies seem to involve a needle of some type, which I know sounds a bit weird, but bear with me. So I knit, that involves needles. I sew, that involves needles. I have done embroidery and cross stitch, again, that involves needles. And I have even done something called null binding or needle binding, or also known as Viking knitting, which is kind of like the predecessor to modern day knitting, and is done with like a sewing needle, but like a big sewing needle made out of normally a piece of wood or sometimes ivory. And there's even an example of it, because people are getting quite historically accurate. In the movie Frozen, I believe Anna wears a pair of mittens that are null binded. I don't know if that's a word. And that might not be 100% accurate because I can't remember if it was Anna or Elsa. But the reason for that is that needle binding was a thing that they used to still do up until like the 1950s in the Nordic countries. Anyways, that's a fun little fact for you. But yeah, so this is my sewing stuff. And I'm actually a qualified costume maker, but I don't work in the industry because, well, it can be a little bit difficult to find work. And sometimes, it's not steady work, which, well, I need to pay my bills. So mainly my sewing, especially all the historical sewing stuff, is kind of just like a hobby. So I'm going to show you some of the examples I have in here. And we've got some Edwardian Victorian underthings. We have the it's kind of really hard to see the shape of this, but this is the 1950s walkaway dress, called the walkaway dress because you're supposed to be able to make it in a day and then wear it that same evening, which technically is kind of true because you can sew this. It's really easy to sew. It's like a wraparound type of dress. But, fabric and a bias, you've got to let it hang for 24 hours because you have to make sure your hem is even. Then you can hem it after 24 hours because fabric and a bias will stretch, and that's probably more info that you are actually looking for. But anyways, then we've got a skirt, and well, that's a bodice, but there's a skirt in there as well. This is a 1900s bodice, boned bodice. And you can't see the shape of it. I probably should take it out to show it properly. But this is a truly Victorian pattern, and I made that for a little event that I went to. It was fun to make. Now, I am a costume maker. I do know how to pattern make, but sometimes, you just want to not bother with a pattern because that's an extra step that you don't have to do, and there's plenty of really good patterns out there. That was a pattern from Truly Victorian, and so easy to make. And sometimes just want to get into making things straight away. This one here is a Regency redingot, and I probably said that wrong because sometimes I just say words wrong. But this was one of the things that I made. I designed, I drafted the actual pattern, and then I sewed the whole thing myself, and I kind of really like the inside of this. It's purple and green. It's probably not the colors historically accurate, and let me show you, like, there's overlocking. Oh my god. Yeah, but I'm a costume maker. I am not a person that makes everything historically accurate. As long as it looks right from the outside that's fine. And if I can avoid hand stitching, oh my god, I'm gonna do that. So yeah, sewing on a machine. Anyways, this is a 1950s coat, which I didn't make, I purchased. And then we got here, let's see if we can pull this out to show it. Okay, so this is a robe a la Francais. Let's see if you can see the back of it with the pleats and all of that. So I made this from a Simplicity pattern, American Duchess, if you want to look that up. And I wore this to a masked ball at the Palace of Versailles. Oh my god, if you can ever do that, that is the experience of a lifetime. Do it. I absolutely loved it, and I'm hoping one day, I'll be able to go again and do it again. I will need a new outfit, of course, because you can't wear the same thing twice, right? Yeah, so this gown I actually made out of, there's a little bit of embroidery that I did on an embroidery machine. Yes, I have like 6 sewing machines. One of them is an embroidery machine. But I made this out of an IKEA doona cover because the fabric itself, with the little flower patterns and stuff like that, is kind of historically accurate for that time period. So why not? I mean, costume makers, we use whatever we can to make it look right. Game of Thrones, they used what, IKEA rugs or something like that to make all the fur capes and stuff like that for, you know, the men of the watch. And then we've got, yeah, some more stuff. Again, this is like a Regency outfit, which contains or consists of a petticoat, a Regency gown, which is see-through, so you have to wear the petticoat with it, otherwise you will be naked. But that's a historically accurate thing. Not being naked, but the gowns being quite see-through. Yeah, so we got some more Edwardian undergarments, like a pair of drawers with some lace and stuff like that. Yeah, and then some more like 1800 gowns and, you know, things like that. So that is just a little bonus I thought I'd share with you. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed having a tour of my craft room, and I will see you hopefully in another video where I'm trying to actually do something on my knitting machine and succeeding, hopefully. I really want to try Fair Isle, but we'll see how we go. Until then, stay tuned and I'll see you soon.